Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Mia and I make content about mental health, mindful living, and motherhood, and I'm so excited to have you here. Today I'm going to be talking about what I'm doing to manage my mental health in this pandemic. We have been in this pandemic in the US for almost a full year now. People are hitting a pandemic wall. So if you've been struggling with flare-ups with your depression and anxiety, or if you've been struggling with that heaviness from the pandemic or that isolation or any of the above like I am, I figured why not make this video to share some of the tips that I use on a day-to-day basis to help me stay above water. And I'm gonna be honest with you, these tips I'm sharing with you, I didn't just start doing during the pandemic. I've been doing these tips pretty religiously for the last couple of years. I'm diagnosed with PTSD, major depressive disorder, and anxiety. So those of you out there who know what it's like to live with any form of that know that pretty much almost every day can feel like a pandemic sometimes. You kind of have this like impending doom or this constant stress or worry that you're navigating through that no one can see. So shout out to all of you out there, all of my mental health warriors. I am with you. So know that these tips are tried and true. Know that they're coming from someone who understands what it's like to live with this stuff on a day-to-day basis. And I'm confident that one or all of these tips will help you. There's a lot of them. So I'm actually breaking up this video into 2 parts. Today I'll be giving you 10 tips, and then the next video will be another 10 tips. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel so that you do not miss out on the next video. I have a whole series of videos planned to help to support you in taking care of yourself as we navigate these very uncertain times. I just want to be a light and a support and an encouragement to all of you out there. So thanks so much for watching. Let's dive in. Amongst all of these tips, and as you build your mental health toolbox, as I like to call it, I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I nourishing or am I numbing? I like to make sure that I have a repertoire of nourishing activities that can still serve the same purpose of helping me cope, of helping me calm down, of helping me feel safe. So whenever you're creating your toolbox, you can take some tools and tips from what I'm going to give you today, but make it your own and try to add in things that you know work for you and just screen it through the question, am I nourishing or am I numbing, to make sure that it is something that's helpful to you rather than harmful to you. Okay, so the first tip is a mindset tip that I use every day, all day, and that is focus on the micro steps. Break everything down into micro steps. So for instance, I don't wake up and go, oh my gosh, I have the whole day ahead of me. There's so much to do. I'm so overwhelmed. I wake up feeling anxious. So that is just a recipe for disaster. So one thing that I've been doing for years now is going, I'm awake. I need to make my bed. And then I make my bed. And then I go, now I need to brush my teeth. And then I do that. Now I need to go exercise. And then I do that. I think of things in the smallest chunks possible, because then I can handle 2 minutes of making my bed. I can handle 2 minutes of brushing my teeth. I can handle 10 to 15 minutes of exercise, right? And while it's tough to not always be long-term planning and things like that, you want to plan out your whole day. I mean, I recommend doing that when you can, when it's not overwhelming, when you write things down. But for the most part, this is how I live my day. I live my days one day at a time, one micro step at a time, and that helps you combat overwhelm and also build momentum throughout your day. So the next tip I want to give you is also a mindset tip that I love, and that is to focus on the benefits of your self-care. And what that means is when you have an activity that you really don't want to do, like exercise, for me, 9 times out of 10, I don't want to exercise, but I focus on the benefits and I allow that to motivate me. So for instance, I may not like exercising, but I know that exercising for 20 minutes in the day is such a small part of my day, but it gives me such amazing returns on that time of investment of energy and time. I focus on the fact that it strengthens my body, that it helps me to feel better, that it releases endorphins, that it strengthens me. It also helps me feel like a badass. I'm gonna be honest with you. It helps me feel amazing. When I exercise, I'm like, look at you showing up for yourself. Look at you doing the stuff you want to do that you know is good for you. And it's just one of those things that you're just so proud of yourself for doing it. So whenever you don't want to do something, focus on the benefits. You can apply this mindset to working on a project or cleaning your dishes or decluttering a closet. Focus on how it's going to make you feel afterwards so that you're more motivated to do it. Number 3 is know your basic self-care needs and do them as soon as possible. So basic self-care is eating well, hydrating, sleeping, moving your body, and hygiene. Those are the basic self-care categories that I am just so adamant that you work on those first. I know that in mainstream media, self-care seems to be all about buying nice things and, fancy face masks and stuff. And I absolutely love those things. But for me, if you're not great at self-care, start with the basics and master them. The basics are what are going to fill you up and help you carry through hard times. And so I just highly, highly, highly encourage you to focus on the basics. So for a majority of my self-care activities, I do them first thing: moving my body, hydrating, hygiene, getting that shower in, brushing my teeth. I do them as soon as possible. With that being said though, there are some days where I look up at the clock, it's 4 p.m., I haven't brushed my teeth, I haven't showered, I haven't combed my hair, I've hardly had any water, and it can be easy to feel like you're a failure, you've ruined your day, the day is over. The day is not over. One of the mantras I like to repeat to myself is it's never too late to reclaim your day. It is never too late to reclaim your day. That means that if you look up and it's 4 p.m. and you haven't done any of those basic self-care things, you go, hey, it's never too late to reclaim my day. Put your kids in front of their favorite TV show and go shower guilt-free. Go take care of yourself. Go brush your teeth. Go fill up that water cup all the way and drink it down. Like, do what you need to do. I don't care if it's 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. I have literally gone a whole day stuck in bed because of depression, and then at 9 p.m. had some energy. And instead of thinking, well, I'll just wait till tomorrow. No, I don't know if I'm gonna have energy tomorrow. So whenever I feel energy, no matter what time it is, I get up and I run through that basic self-care list. And that's another reason why it's so important to know your basic self-care, because when we're dealing with anxiety and depression on a day-to-day basis, we're dealing with a lot of fatigue and overwhelm. We don't have the energy or capacity to constantly decide what we're gonna do next. Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to declutter that closet? That feels really important. Do I need to do the dishes? That feels really important. Those things are important, but what's most important is that you are eating, hydrating, moving, hygiening, those things. Those things need to come first, and then you will know that you took care of yourself before you did all these other extra things, and that those things honestly give you momentum and fill you up and help you to do the other things. So basic self-care, basic self-care, basic self-care. Okay, number 4, simple one, but often overlooked: get dressed. I know it's tempting to stay in our pajamas. Listen, I tried to do it at the beginning of this pandemic, and then it just started affecting my mood. It started affecting the fact that I feel like I'm living in Groundhog Day and I don't leave the house and all those things. Getting dressed is a game changer. I work from home full time, so it helps me to show up in Zoom meetings. I'm more likely to speak up at meetings. I'm more likely to assert myself and speak my ideas. I show up in my life just from a place of more confidence and self-respect when I get dressed. Another thing about getting dressed that people don't realize is it helps you to segment your day. So we don't have these natural breaks in our day because we're not commuting to the office and we're not dropping our kids off at daycare or whatever. We don't have those breaks. At least I don't. I'm at home with my kids all day long. So getting up in the morning, exercising in my exercise clothes, showering, working in my nice work clothes, right? And then when work's done and I close my computer, I change into some cozier home clothes that I can cook dinner in, I can do the dishes in, I bathe the kids, it helps me compartmentalize. And then when I do my nighttime routine to prepare for sleep, I change into some cozy PJs I bought myself. Is it a lot of laundry to switch through? And yes, I am putting away a lot of clothes at the end of the day. However, it's for the sake of your mental health, do it. Get dressed, get dressed, get dressed. Have clothes you wear for different activities and different times of your day. It helps immensely with breaking up your day. Tip number 5 is regroup throughout your day. And I'm gonna have a whole separate video on all the different activities you can do to regroup, because there are so many different things that you can do. But essentially what regrouping is those of you with anxiety and depression know this. You might go throughout your day and then a couple hours in, you're feeling so overwhelmed and anxious, you can't even write an email, you can't even make yourself a sandwich, you can't do any of those things. And that means it's time to regroup. Instead of numbing that feeling, check in with it. Oh my gosh, I feel anxious. I feel it in my body. I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my stomach. Check in with yourself. It's time to regroup. What do you need to do to meet yourself where you're at? When I feel anxious, my shoulders feel exceptionally tight. And that means it's time to stretch and do a neck roll. I'm doing it right now because making videos, I'm gonna be honest, I feel anxious when I make videos, but I also love it. So touche. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do to regroup, but it's usually a combination of something physical to help you, moving your body, stretching, but also affirming yourself. Check in with that fear. What is happening? Check in with that overwhelm. What is happening? Where is it coming from? What is your brain telling you that is not helping you? For me, when I'm anxious, it's the thing that my brain says is, you're never gonna get it all done. You're not working fast enough. You're not efficient enough. Your overwhelm is overtaking you. And I have to stop, pull away from my work for a moment and go, it doesn't all need to get done today. What I can do today is enough. I'm working as best as I can with my current circumstances. So it's a combination of me checking in with my anxiety, speaking truth to the lies that my anxiety is telling me, right? And I can give you a bunch of different affirmations, but I think it's so powerful for you to figure out what's going to speak to you and what you need to hear. Because if you start to really get to know yourself and you cultivate that self-awareness, you'll realize that the messages from your anxiety and depression are always the same. And then you can cultivate responses to that anxiety and depression to kind of combat those negative mental narratives that are hurting you throughout the day. So stop and regroup. And the way that you know you need to regroup is if you're often turning to your phone to scroll on social media, or you're often biting your nails, picking your skin, or whatever kind of like numbing behavior you have because you're so overwhelmed in your body or you're so drained from the depression that you want to check out of your body and dissociate from your body. I'm encouraging you to check in with your body and give your body what it needs and tell your mind what positive message you need to hear in order to calm your body down. So again, I'm gonna have a whole video dedicated to regrouping because it's so important, and I don't know what I would do if I didn't have that in my day-to-day. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that video. Okay, number 6 is a tip I absolutely love, and this is minimize the goal until it's doable. Again, this is something I use every single day because most tasks, when you have anxiety, feel exceptionally overwhelming, or when you have depression and your energy is being drained from you all day without your permission, it's super helpful. So for instance, on a bad day when my depression and anxiety are particularly flared up, I can look at the kitchen and feel so overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, I cannot clean this kitchen. I do not have the energy. This is impossible. So then I don't tell myself we're gonna do that. I say, okay, we're gonna minimize the goal. We're just gonna unload one rack in the dishwasher, not even the whole dishwasher. Okay, it's like, I can put away the silverware. I got this. I just put away the silverware. And the next thing you know, I'm like, that wasn't so bad. I can put away the next shelf, and then I can put away the cups, and then next thing you know, I'm like, well, the dishwasher's empty, so I can put in a couple of things. And don't get me wrong, I also add in like some great 90s hip hop, or I'm listening to an audiobook that's inspiring me or making me laugh. And next thing I know, I've cleaned the whole kitchen and I've listened to an hour of an audiobook, or I've danced while I did it to some 90s jams. So I would never have done that though if I didn't minimize the goal to just unloading the silverware. So just unload the silverware, or just write that one email, or just sit down with if you really feel guilty about not playing with your kids. Here's another example. I often feel this mom guilt because I'm working from home full time now, and I don't have energy to sit and play trains for 30 minutes, but I tell myself, Mia, can you play for 10? Can you play for 10? Can you sit down and play trains for 10? And I make it clear to my 4-year-old, I say, Mommy's really tired and I have work to do, but I want to play with you. I only have 10 minutes. So we're going to set a timer and we're going to play for 10 minutes. And he's happy with that because he just wants his mom for whatever time I can give him. So I know we want to spend a lot of time doing everything, but we only have so much time and energy during this pandemic. So honor yourself and minimize that goal and to make it doable. And then celebrate that win when you've unloaded that silverware, when you played with your child for 10 minutes. Celebrate that win. It is a huge deal. This next tip, again, so simple, but so overlooked. And I don't know why I don't do this more. I need to work on this. It's using music to uplift your mood. Last night, we had to clean up so many toys on the living room floor because it needed to be vacuumed. And I put on some 90s jams, and I hadn't listened to that in such a long time, and like all the best music came on, and it made me realize, wow, music is so powerful. It enables us to feel completely different. And I've also been utilizing rain sounds on YouTube to calm myself while I do my work. And it just makes me realize, like, you know, just that tiny change of just taking 2 seconds to search a playlist and press play can help us to get up and do that load of laundry, get up and fold those clothes, get up and take a shower, get up and do some work on our computers, right? And so Spotify is full of incredible playlists that are based on like how you want to feel, like cleanup playlists or relax playlists or work from home playlists. I also use YouTube Music, and you know, there's just so many great playlists out there. And on YouTube, I've been listening to like Morning in Paris to make me feel like I'm traveling, and it does help. Don't act like it doesn't matter because it's not some big thing. The thing I teach all the time to my coaching clients is like, sure, going on a 2-month meditation trip in France would be amazing, but a lot of times the self-care that can make some of the biggest impacts are the basic routine self-care things that we teach ourselves to do every day, because you won't always be on that fancy retreat. And I'd rather you first learn how to practice basic self-care on a day-to-day basis before you think that some really expensive event is going to change everything for you. It's really about the boring day-to-day stuff. Number 8, I use this every single day, and that's using breath work. Okay, I don't know all of the fancy breathwork techniques, and to be honest with you, I've tried several, and the more complicated ones just stress me out. One that really works for me is called diaphragmatic breathing. I think I said that right. And it's super simple, and I'm going to create a video that's just walking you through that with some relaxing music that you can hit play on throughout your day. So stay tuned for that. But essentially what it does is it stimulates what's called the vagus nerve, which is apparently the biggest nerve in your body that's connected to all your major organs. So when you stimulate that vagus nerve with that calming breath technique, you calm all your organs down. Because as we know, when we're feeling anxious, our body is secreting stress hormone, cortisol, into all of our organs and causing all of our body to get messed up. Have you ever felt anxious and then it's affected your digestion? That's made you not as hungry or too hungry, or you have difficulty having regular BMs. You know, anxiety and cortisol affects all of our organs. So diaphragmatic breathing is an incredible way, takes no time at all throughout the day to calm yourself. Physiologically to calm your body. So I can't wait to teach you about that. It's something I learned from a physical therapist years ago. He was a chronic pain specialist because I struggle with chronic pain. And I'm telling you, it's one of the basic tips that has saved me and helped me to regroup. So yeah, can't wait to show you more about diaphragmatic breathing. But if you don't want to wait till the video, Google it. There's so much content out there. It's, again, so simple, and it's gonna be life-changing for you, trust me. Number 9 is have a bedtime and wake up time and stick to it. Now, I want a caveat here. There was a time I had chronic nightmares almost every single night. Pretty much every single night. Again, I have diagnosed PTSD, and one of the symptoms of that is vivid, realistic nightmares that cause me to feel extremely exhausted, and also manifested as some physical ailments like sinusitis, where my face would be so inflamed and so in pain that as I laid down to sleep every night, by the time I woke up, my ears would be hurting, my neck, my shoulders, everything would be hurting, and it was extremely hard to get out of bed in the morning because my head was just so achy and my body was so achy. So if you're in a phase where you're in pain every day when you wake up, do not hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that you need to get up at 5:30 and have some epic morning routine, because it's really freaking hard for you to get out of bed, and I respect that. But one of the things I want to drive home for you and for those of us who struggle with chronic pain is that doesn't mean that you should have a crap bedtime. It doesn't mean that you should stay up until 2 a.m. scrolling on your phone. It doesn't mean that you should go to bed 10 p.m. one night, 1 a.m. the next night, 2 p.m. the next night, or 2 a.m. the next night. You really have to honor a bedtime, because even though you might not wake up rested, and I know how frustrating that can be to spend 8 hours in bed and you feel just as exhausted, if not more so, the next day, you're still allowing your body to have some sort of rest where you're laying horizontally with your eyes shut. Okay, do not convince yourself that staying up working until 2 a.m. is somehow better than trying to get some horizontal rest. So, work on that bedtime, keep it consistent, work on that wake up time. And if you're capable of getting up at a certain time every day, but if you need to stay in bed a little bit longer to help yourself ease out of bed in the morning, respect that. You know yourself better than anyone. Number 10 connects a little bit to number 9, and it is do whatever you need to do to improve your quality of sleep. Okay, there were times when I tried to do every other self-care thing to try to help myself feel more energized because I was so exhausted from the nightmares. But again, I'm gonna go back to the basics here. Basic self-care is so important. None of the other things I was doing mattered because I wasn't getting good sleep. And I'm still on this journey. There about 2 weeks out of the month, I don't sleep well. And that's because of PTSD and my hormones shifting. So I'm very cognizant of that. But there was a time when no days of the month I slept well. So we're making progress. But I have to tell you that in addition to going to trauma therapy and taking medication for my mental health, I needed to implement a variety of practices. And now I have a whole bedtime ritual that helps me signal to my brain that it's time for sleep. I bought myself some nice pajamas. I used to sleep in sweatpants and a t-shirt, but the problem with that is I wear sweatpants and a t-shirt when I'm going about my regular household activities. So it doesn't make me feel like it's time for bed. So I change into pajamas, like I mentioned earlier, I brush my teeth, I floss, I maybe do some gentle stretching, some neck rolls. I love doing self-massage where I get some essential oils and I just rub it in my hands, smell it, and massage my shoulders that have been getting tight all day from anxiety. I have my own rituals and I'm gonna make a video sharing with you like that bedtime routine, but those rituals are important. It's good sleep hygiene. It's preparing for bed. I have an alarm on my phone that goes off at 9:30 every night that tells me, hey, it's time for bed. And it forces me to stop scrolling and go, oh, I didn't realize it's 9:30 already. Like how many of us are on our phones or we're watching a show and we don't realize what time it actually is? So yeah, I just, you have to do these things to help yourself. Set that timer on your phone or that reminder. Have a set of pajamas that you put on when it's time for bed, and do your skincare. I love washing my face and moisturizing my face before bed. It's just like this calming, relaxing thing where I'm just like taking care of myself because I've poured out all day. My body and brain have worked so hard all day, and I'm telling myself through this nighttime ritual like, hey girl, you did a good job and I'm gonna take care of you because you worked so hard today, and we're not gonna just flop in bed. We're going to nourish ourselves before we go to bed. And even if I have a crappy night of sleep, I wake up the next day with clean teeth and clean skin and cozy pajamas on, and I feel proud. So that's it for today's video. Those are 10 tips to help you manage your mental health in the pandemic. Comment below and let me know which one was your favorite, or share one that you do that maybe I didn't mention. You could be helping those in this community. If you liked this video and would like more support practicing basic self-care and also a community of like-minded women who are working hard to take good care of ourselves and feel good about it, consider joining my program, No Longer Lasts. It's all about helping women take care of themselves and not feel ashamed. So I'll leave a link to my program in the description box for you to check out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.